We thank you for the opportunity to gather today. We invite your presence into this meeting and ask for your blessing of creativity, innovation, and collaboration among us. Inspire us with fresh ideas and solutions that honor your wisdom and bring positive change. Please grant us the grace to listen with empathy and understanding to one another's perspectives. May our words be filled with clarity and grace as we communicate openly. Guide us in every decision we make, leading us along paths that align with your divine plan and purpose. May your wisdom illuminate our minds and hearts, guiding us towards a productive meeting with an outcome that benefits all involved.
Supervisor Matthew Phipps, could you mark yourself present, please? Okay, thank you. Roll call is going around again, so make sure you sign the sheet twice. The reports are on the agenda under item 5, and that'll take us to, we have a number of proclamations this evening. First, I will do the proclamation honoring the life and service of Supervisor Lori Burke. So if anybody here in the audience is here to accept that proclamation, you can meet me up at the podium. Proclamation commemorating the life and service of Lori Burke. Whereas, Lori Burke, being born on April 16, 1959 in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Lori graduated from Washington High School in Two Rivers and went on to receive a degree as a licensed practicing nurse from Lakeshore College. Lori held many positions with the ASME Local S1288. She was also a longtime member at the Grace Congregational United Church of Christ, and she passed away on November 24th, 2024. And whereas Lori Burke served 3 terms on the Manitowoc County Board, representing the people of County Board Supervisory District 25 in Two Rivers from 2010 to 2016. Lori served on the Human Services Board from 2011 to 2024. During her term, she also served on the ADRC of the Lakeshore Board and the Long-Term Support Planning Committee. And whereas Lori Burke enjoyed gardening, swimming, spending time with her grandchildren, and caring for many pets, especially cats and dogs. And whereas Lori Burke was a leader who served the citizens of Manitowoc County in many capacities and contributed countless hours to improve the quality of life for all. Now, therefore, we, Manitowoc County Executive Bob Ziegelbauer and Manitowoc County Board Chairman Tyler Martell, along with the Manitowoc County Board of Supervisors, hereby commemorate the life and service of Lori Burke and express our condolences to the Burke family. We have a proclamation commemorating the life and service of William Victor Geigel. If anybody's here to receive that proclamation, you could join at the podium. Whereas, William Victor Geigel Sr., being born on October 11th, 1932, at home in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, with twin brother Bernard, William graduated from Lincoln High School with the class of 1951 and served in the U.S. Army during the Korean conflict. While stationed in New Jersey, Bill met Sarah Garrigan and wed her in August 1955 at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Nutley, New Jersey. They moved to Manitowoc after their nuptials and raised 8 children. Sally preceded Bill in death in January 1985. In September 1986, he married Monica Schwer at Holy Innocents Catholic Church in Manitowoc. Monica preceded Bill in death in 2022. Bill was a dedicated employee at the Herald Times as a pressman for 45 years, retiring in 1997, and he passed away on January 26, 2025. And whereas William Geigel was active in county government by representing the people of County Board Supervisory District 8 from 1994 to 2000, During his term, he served on the Manitowoc Public Library Board of Trustees and the Board of Health Community Action Program. And whereas William Geigel was a lifelong member of St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Parish and dedicated many decades of service in various capacities to St. Vincent de Paul. And whereas William Geigel was a leader who served the citizens of Manitowoc County in many capacities and contributed countless hours to improve the quality of life for all. Now, therefore, we, Manitowoc County Executive Bob Ziegelbauer, County Board Chairman Tyler Martell, along with the Manitowoc County Board of Supervisors, hereby commemorate the life and service of William Geigel Sr. and express our condolences to the Geigel family. Our third proclamation this evening is a proclamation recognizing Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month. If you want to join us up here, Jenna. Whereas, every child is precious and deserves to grow up in a healthy, safe, nurturing environment free from the threats, dangers, and harmful effects of child abuse and neglect. And whereas, child abuse and neglect impact our entire society and can cause traumatic psychological, emotional, and physical harm to individuals, family, and societies. Whereas parents, families, and Manitowoc County residents are encouraged to work together to protect the well-being of our children by recognizing the signs of violence and creating safe, stable, and nurturing environments that safeguard our children. Whereas, in 2024, there were 419 cases of child abuse and neglect investigated in Manitowoc County, and of those cases, 88 petitions for children in need of protection and/or services were filed. And whereas, all citizens of Manitowoc County are encouraged to recognize that prevention starts with each of us. Now, therefore, we, Manitowoc County Executive Bob Ziegelbauer and Manitowoc County Board Chairman Tyler Martell, along with the Manitowoc County Board of Supervisors, hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month in Manitowoc County, and urge all citizens to work together to help reduce child abuse and neglect significantly in the years to come. And our final proclamation this evening is in honor of National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. So if you'd like to join me up at the podium. Whereas, the Manitowoc County Joint Dispatch Center provides emergency communications for Manitowoc County, the City of Manitowoc, the City of Two Rivers, and the City of Kiel on a 24-hour basis. And whereas the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials has designated the second full week in April as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. And whereas Manitowoc County recognizes that public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical link between our citizens and emergency services providers, that the services they provide are vital to the health, safety, and welfare of the community, and their commitment and devotion to public service deserves public recognition. And now, therefore, we, Manitowoc County Executive Bob Ziegelbauer and Manitowoc County Board Chair Tyler Martell, along with the Manitowoc County Board of Supervisors, have designated the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Manitowoc County to honor these dedicated employees whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and communities safe.
I know I speak on behalf of the entire dispatch center. It really means a lot for the county to recognize National Telecommunications Week. It's often a hot topic that 911 services are often the forgotten department, the first dispatchers, if you will. So it really means a lot that this county in particular recognizes its own dispatch center. So thank you.
All right, that will take us into public comment. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak tonight? Any members of the public wishing to speak? For a third and final time, are there any members of the public wishing to speak? The chair sees none, so we'll close public comment. That'll take us to the consent agenda. I'll give you a moment to look over the consent agenda for a final time. Are there any items that a supervisor wishes to remove? Any items that a supervisor would like to remove from the consent agenda? Last call. Seeing none, I'd look for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Supervisor Engelbrecht, second by Supervisor Niles. And the clerk will conduct the vote.
Supervisors will now vote on the consent agenda.
And the consent agenda is approved. That will take us to our committee reports. Aging and Disability Board, Supervisor Shimalunas.
No report today, but the next meeting is March 25th at 10 a.m. in Manitowoc.
Thank you. Board of Health, Supervisor Metzger.
We met March 13th. The health officer, Karina, she gave us a review on the 2024 annual report. The report is available online. There's some things I'd like to just mention about it. There was 2,422 conditions reported. There was 543 tests for COVID. There was, in 2022, there were 24 overdose deaths. In 2023, there was 20. In 2024, there was 12. There was 301 doses of Narcan given, and they also expanded the flu clinic. For the public health, the most frequent reported conditions in February was influenza, hospitalization 44, and RSV 13. RSV is still very high. COVID-19 is low. Then they gave a report on the measles, and 1 out of 2 will die. 94 of those were unvaccinated. Measles were eliminated in 2000. In 1961 and 1968, vaccines that were given, some were live and some were not. In 1975, vaccines, you had to get them before school. Now we're doing training for the measles. And for the WIC report, the caseload for 2025 is 1,061 participants. In January, we had 1,150. In February, we had 1,152. Our next meeting will be April 10th at 5 p.m. That is the end of my report.
Thank you, Supervisor Metzger. Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, Supervisor Falkowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The meeting of the Manitowoc County Criminal Justice Coordinating Council was March 5th. The public comment was brief. A deposition of the judicial position regarding the opioid task force in congruence with the outcome for an indefinite postponement. Report on drug court. The drug court coordinator reported 12 participants, 1 in treatment. There's also an outgoing activities that are being well received. A brief access to the court committee report said that they have a conflict with schedules to meet, and however, they are expected to resolve that by next month. The Youth Intervention Network reported that some changes and activities are in progress, and they will have more to report next meeting. Our next CJC council is May 7th. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Next, we have the Executive Committee. The Executive Committee did not meet last month, so I have nothing to report. Expo Ice Center Board, Supervisor Benke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We met on Wednesday, March 5th. A lot of work being done in the subcommittee area within the Expo Board. The Expo Finance Subcommittee is working, and they finalized the 2026 proposed budget, getting way ahead and having participation in that from their level is really good. A lot of good discussion at their level. A lot of issues one of the main issues that we're working on is the Merchants Gate parking, which is that area by the barns that come in that gate. We have some safety issues. We have some ticket taking issues. There's a lot of, the parking group is working on that, working on making sure the people that are parking in that area have the right credentials to be parking in that area. So there's a lot of discussion being done on that particular area amongst all the other areas with marketing, advertising. We set our advertising budget. Now we go out to all the advertising places and find out how much we can get for the dollar. And so there's a lot of things going on at the subcommittee level. That's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Benke. Next, we have the Finance Committee, Supervisor Hanson.
Thank you, Chairman Martell. We had a short meeting last Monday, got a piece of property back on the tax rolls. If you get the chance, please appreciate and thank Mr. Noiser, who does a lot of work to do those properties that we are given for non-payment of taxes and going through a process of getting them off of our rolls back on the public roll. We appreciate that. We met because we were supposed to talk about some money issues, borrowing issues, but that's been postponed. But I would like to thank Supervisor Hacker and Supervisor Lillybridge. They went through the whole finance packet that we get with every charge that the county gets every month. And with a fine-tooth comb, they had a lot of questions, and that's good to know that the guys and gals are going through that and bring those up once in a while. So I appreciate that hard work. We will meet Monday the 14th. I think that's the Monday right before the county board meeting in April. So hopefully we get the other issues done at that time. That's it.
Thank you, Supervisor Hanson. Highway Committee, Supervisor Benke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We met on March 11th. We had a controlled access request, which from our perspective in our committee, we are trying to gingerly step in the right direction, trying to be, so what we do is for a mile of road, there's so many houses or so many driveways on that road, on that county road, and the ordinance specifically says there's a limit to that. The one that we had a double driveway, and he was selling off land. Problem we had is years ago, the farms, in order to get to the back 40, you went through the driveway. In order to get into the yard, and you went through and got back to the back 40. Well, some of that land is now getting split off. Getting access to that 40 off of the highway is probably the best way to do it, but we've tried to we look at safety, we look at the topography of the land, so that is a challenge, and we will continue to try to work through that. We had bids on the HVAC system, the hot mix asphalt bids came in, the milling bids came in, and the cold in place came in, and generally the asphalt bids came in pretty good for this year. The oil prices came in a little bit less than normal, so our asphalt prices are a little bit down from where they were, which is good news for us. We got a Kings Bridge project update with some pictures, and we will meet on April 8th. Sorry, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Human Services Board, Supervisor Bry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next meeting of the Human Services Board meeting will be Thursday, March 27th, 4:15 p.m. in the Human Services Board room on Alva J Street in downtown Manitowoc. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Land Conservation Committee and the UW Extension, Education, and Agriculture Committee. Supervisor Ryan Phipps.
Thank you, Chairman Martell. We met last month. We just kind of went over some highlights. The 4-H program is alive and well. They've been doing a lot of recruiting for the younger age kids, and then even broadening the scope to more of like the city kids along with the county kids. So they're seeing some increase in success with that. And then we kind of just do an impact budget review, and everything's on track. Our next meeting is this Thursday, March 20th at 4:45. That is the end of my report.
Thank you. Personnel, Chair Marsh is absent and excused. Supervisor Metzger, do you have a report for personnel? Okay. April 1st? Okay, thank you, Supervisor Benke. Next is the Planning and Park Commission, Supervisor Falkowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Park and Planning Commission met on February 24th. On our docket, it included 2 rezone requests, the petition from the town of Centerville to adopt Manitowoc County zoning, and the Manitowoc Manitowoc Property Development Plan review. Finally, the snowmobile trail maintenance contracts to discuss also 3 disc golf tournaments to be considered in our park system. The commission started the rezone hearings with the parcels of Hunter Griffin from the town of Cato, then to Shane Wendt from the town of Rockland. All parcels were examined under rezone criteria, plus testimony and documentation of support for the applicants were recorded. Next, we discussed a petition from the town of Centerville to accept county zoning for their township. After discussion, the commission affirmed their petition. Later, we discussed the snowmobile trail maintenance contracts for next year. That contract was discussed and also approved by the commission. All of these items were for your consideration, which you did tonight with your consent agenda. Further along in our agenda, we discussed and reviewed the development plan for the Mariner Lux subdivision of Manitowoc. Next, we approved 3 permits for the separate disc golf tournaments at Cato Falls County Park for May, June, and July. They're sanctioned under the USWDGC and the PDGA leagues. There's a resolution that we passed regarding our county parks, which is Chapter 14. Part of that change was to accommodate not only these activities, but also for camping at 3 of the county parks. So that's what, we didn't separate that from our resolution, but that was included why we passed this disc golf tournament permits. Lastly, we authorized the grant application for the Twin River ADA boat launch and pier for the public access. And I do at this point sole motion to accept resolution 2024-2025-77, authorizing the grant application for the West Twin River public access.
Thank you. There's a motion. Is there a second? Second by Supervisor Zimmer. Any discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, the clerk will conduct the vote.
Supervisors will now vote on the resolution authorizing grant application for West Twin River public access.
Hey, what a team we are.
I know.
Did you see Falkowski and
Okay, and the resolution passes unanimously.
Thank you. Our next commission meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, March 31st. Our advisory hearing starts at 3:30, or our meeting starts at 3:30, but the hearing starts at 4. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'll move right on to public safety. Yeah. Public Safety Committee met on March 12th. No questions from the committee members about monthly reports that were received. No public comment was registered that day. I announced to the committee that the deadline for the body cams at all taser and storage proposals is April 1st, and afterwards an evaluation and review will begin. On our agenda was the discussion with our county jurists. Attending was Branch 1, the Honorable Rohr, Branch 2, and presiding judge Honorable Dietz, and Branch 4, Honorable Lambert. We discussed the upgrades of the windows and HVAC, also how the scheduling of the court while the construction continues impacts the courtrooms. Whenever telecommunications can be used, it's preferred during construction. The jurists gave us a master class describing the case flow from judgments to appeal process. Noticeably, there is a change towards common language in law that also roughly deals with 40% of the litigants who are using self-representations now. In other words, they represent themselves in some of these cases. Also noted was this trend that this trend also extends the court time when you're dealing with plaintiffs. A point of information impacting the court is the availability of defense attorneys. This waiting time sometimes lasts months for public defenders to be appointed. We discussed some important training and planning the jurists lacked. It is for an active shooter event. They have a day in mind for training, but it must be arranged with the sheriff. There is a planned active shooter training for all county employees coming in August, and that is through the Emergency Planning Department. The last discussion led to the courthouse security and a single point entry into the courthouse. We thank the jurists for their discussion and for their dedication to Manitowoc County for their social order. Our next meeting is scheduled for April 9th. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Public Works Committee, Supervisor Sikowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Public Works Committee met on Wednesday, March 12th. In the Solid Waste and Recycling Division, the committee was updated on the state of the current markets for recyclables and the revenues received to date for them. After a couple years of low market prices for recyclables, prices for plastics are up, which will help the Recycling Center's 2025 revenue projections. In the Building and Grounds Division, we were updated on the status of the 2025 capital projects that have started and are underway, and that the 2 security-related projects at the Human Services Downtown Building have been completed. We received the report and the latest construction schedule for the courthouse windows replacement and HVAC system upgrade project. Construction in the Branch 1 courtroom and support offices has been completed, and the focus of the work is now on the Branch 3 courtroom and support offices. We approved several pay requests, one from Hammond Construction for the courthouse project, one from Eland Electric for the Law Enforcement Center's fire alarm system replacement project, and one from Otis Elevator for the Heritage Center's elevator modernization. In the Communications Division, we were updated on the status of the 2025 capital projects for the public safety radio system, as well as activities that the communications team is working on upgrading the AV and the data systems in the courthouse as part of the current construction project. In the IT Division, we were updated on the status of active projects and the latest cybersecurity reports, as well as the monthly tickets for IT service. IT Division Director Luke Callista reported that his staff has been doing a great job serving all 600 plus county computer system users, and that many compliments on their customer service has been received. In the Expo Division, we approved the 2025 county fair contracts that were unanimously recommended to us by the Expo Ice Center Board. And we reviewed the March calendar of events, the planned capital projects for 2025, and the monthly financial reports. The next meeting of the Public Works Committee will be held on Wednesday, April 9th, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Transportation Coordinating Committee, Supervisor Hacker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Coordinating Committee met on January 29th to review fourth quarter 2025 progress and results. I am pleased to report the replacement bus awarded in 2023 has been delivered at last and is in service. Grant proposals for 2024 have been approved, and we've been awarded one of the 2 replacement buses requested in 2024. Expected delivery date is unknown. Ridership continues to rise, with one-way rides in 2024 increasing by 22.5% over 2023. We did not add any new volunteer drivers in the fourth quarter, but retention is high and we remain at 17 drivers. At our January meeting, we also wished our retiring ADRC business manager, Kim Novak, a happy and fulfilling retirement after 9 years of service to Manitowoc County, and we welcomed our new ADRC business manager, LaShawn Crane. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Supervisor Hacker. I was going to ask about the bus, but I didn't want to rub dirt in a wound. But I'm glad to hear that we finally have that bus. Let's see, announcements. So just looking at the April 15th meeting, I know a number of you have towns meetings, the annual towns meetings that you would like to attend. And so the clerk and I are going to take a look at the agenda shortly and just see if we need to move the meeting a little bit earlier to accommodate for that. So just kind of watch your meeting announcements and email if we're going to have an earlier start time closer to that meeting. But otherwise I have no announcements other than please remember to vote early or vote on April 1st for our spring election. Any other announcements? Otherwise, I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Supervisor Sikowitz, second by Supervisor Hacker. We are adjourned.